In this video, I'll show you how you can go beyond basic beauty lighting in a small home studio. Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and you're watching Adorama TV, brought to you by Adorama, the camera store that's got everything for us photographers. In a recent video, I showed you how I did my very basic beauty lighting here in my small home studio. Well, in this video, I'm going to go beyond my basic beauty lighting, and I'm going to do that by adding in things like some props, some better lighting, and some great hair and makeup to create a fantastic final image. Now, of course, if you haven't seen my previous video, go check it out on the Adorama Learning Centre, but don't worry, I'll cover the basics very briefly in a second before we get into the slightly more advanced part of this video. So, with that in mind, let's get some lights, let's get a model in, let's get shooting. So it's great to have Beth back in the studio, who will be the model for this Beyond Beauty lighting setup. But before we get to the advanced bit, let's just do a quick recap on the last video. So last time we looked at the basics of beauty lighting, and I had a key light, which was around about this sort of distance, elevated and slightly separated from the model, and it gave a result that looked a bit like this. Here we go, Beth. That's fine, except the shadows are quite harsh underneath Beth's chin, and that's where we added in the next light. Well, technically a reflector. I'm going to add in the silver reflector like that. It's on a solid board, which means that Beth can lean into the shot, give us a little bit more variation on the posing. I'm using the silver side because it's relatively far distant from Beth, and I like that little bit of extra feel. So let's have a look and see how the silver reflector adds to the scene. It fills in the shadows and looks really good. So that's the basics. Let's go beyond that. And there's a whole bunch of different ways we can do that. One of the ways you can improve your beauty shots is with the help of a makeup artist. Beth's been through hair and makeup and looks fabulous. If you hire a professional hair and makeup artist into your shoot, you're going to get way better results straight away, trust me. Next thing is lighting. We could just use these one light setup here, but I like extra lights, and I've got a bunch of extra lights, including this one. So this is the eVOLV 200 from Flashpoint, and I've got it in a standard reflector, which I'm going to pop right in behind Beth, pointing at the background. So this is going to be a separation light or a background illumination light. It adds a whole nother level to the shoot, and it looks a little bit like this. It completely changes the dark grey background. If you put enough light out of it, well, it will make the grey go pretty much white. But the great thing about having a second light that's controllable is you can choose how much light or how little light it produces. So let's get that same light and reduce its power down. Let's come down to maybe 1/32 of its full power. So if I take the power down, it looks like this. Completely different. Now I actually quite like that. I like the natural vignetting that I get from that light. But this is the beauty of beauty lighting and photography. You can change this however you want to suit your needs. Other things we could do with that background light, we could put a gel on it and colour the background and make it a totally different colour if that's what you want from your shoot. It's entirely up to you, but I like it nice plain grey, so we're going to leave it like this. When it comes to lighting, you can stop at any point during the process. One light was good, two lights was better. What if we add some more? And in this case, I've got my two Speedlights. I've positioned them behind Beth and pointing slightly towards her shoulders and her cheeks. Now the idea with these is they should add a little bit of a highlight just on the cheeks and on the shoulders, and it adds a kind of thinning effect. Now Beth doesn't really need thinning, but it will add a bit to the shot. Let's see how it looks. And that adds a nice little glow on the cheeks and the shoulders, and it looks wonderful in a simple beauty setup like this. Okay, let's take a few shots like this, see how it works. Okay, Beth, here we go. That's great. So lights can really add to the creativity of your beauty setup, but there's one more thing we can add to this, and that is a little bit of styling. The final piece of our Beyond Basics beauty lighting is the styling, and in this case we've got Beth to wear a little wrap of feathers around her neck. Remember, it is a tight headshot that we're shooting here, so you can shoot with just that area styled and the rest of it can be, well, comfy clothing. So let's see how this changes the picture. Here we go. In this case, I've gone with just the two lights, the key light and the background light. The extra side lights, if they were firing through feathers, would cast a dappled lighting across the face, and that's not really the look I'm going for here. But this look is simple, effective, and should make some great photos. So with that in mind, let's do some pictures. Okay, Beth, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Well, that really was a great fun shoot, and the final pictures do look amazing. It's also reminded me the power of flash in my small home studio, because once I'd set the basic light, it just didn't change shot after shot, and that meant I could focus on the more important things like the creativity, the styling, the extra lights and so on. And it really is amazing what just a little bunch of feathers will do to completely change the look and feel of a simple basic beauty lighting portrait. Now, of course, this is just one of an endless number of possibilities you can do with basic beauty lighting to create something that's unique and your own style. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, leave me a comment below, and of course, if you want to see more videos from myself and the other amazing presenters right here on Adorama TV, you know what you've got to do. You've got to click on the subscribe button. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.